So we're looking at X and Y intercepts. I want to change that color. I guess I'll do black. So the notes today are on X and Y intercepts. And for X and Y intercepts, you use the intersection points of the X and Y axis to graph an equation. So we're going to use the points where the graph is going to cross, is going to intersect the X and the Y axis to graph these equations that we're going to do as an example today. Now we're going to have an example of, let's say here, I don't know, let's go 5x plus 10y equals 10. That's fine. Let's get as an example there. So we're going to graph this equation, but only using X and Y intercepts. So now what I would like to do, and which I try to start off this unit by the same way every time, let's make a small T table off to the side. We have X, we have Y, but now we're going to already go ahead and set up where one's going to be 0, because we're looking for intercepts, other one's going to be 0, and then draw a second line. This last one will be our checkpoint, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. Now, for this to really work and for it to make sense and not be as confusing, let's identify exactly what ordered pair we're looking for now. So the very top one, whenever x is 0, so class, when x is 0, what intercept is that? Well, let's do this. At your table, let's have that conversation really quick. Whenever x is 0, what intercept is that? So have that conversation at your table really, really quick. X is 0, what intercept is that? You want to try to have a little bit of some say-so in this conversation. If you're just quiet, it doesn't help you. Gael, what do you think, man? Whenever x is 0, what intercept is that? Wouldn't be y-axis. That point would be on the y-axis, but what's that intercept called? The y-intercept, right? You got the y-intercept. So right next to that box, I need you to put y-intercept. So let's do this one. Put y-intercept here. I'll change the color in green. The next one has to be the x-intercept. So when you make these small t tables, do this every time. Because the y-intercept, that means that this graph or this point must be on the y-axis. So we're going to put this point. Now this part right here you don't have to write down when every time you do this, but write it down for now. This point is on, I can't write it neatly up here. All right, hold on. This point is on the y-axis. So your y-intercept is on the y-axis. So sometimes you're looking at these ordered pairs and you might real quick get confused on where they go. If you make that small little box off to the left, y-intercept, you know that point, when you get the y value, is going to be graphed on the y-axis. Same thing with the x-intercept. So this point is on the x-axis. So now you know exactly where that point is going to be located when you solve it. It's going to be on the x-axis for the x-intercept, on the y-axis for the y-intercept. But now let's go ahead and actually do some of the algebraic work to find those ordered pairs. So right over here, I'm going to write y-intercept. So write that down, put an underline. I want to actually visually see what I'm about to solve for. So I have my equation, but now I know that x has to be 0. So I'm going to put over here, x equals 0. Because my table already told me it had to be 0. So 5 times 0 plus 10y equals 10. 5 times 0 is 0. Ooh, what was that? 10y equals 10. Divide both sides by 10, so we know that y is going to be 1. As soon as you solve for that value, go ahead and place it right inside the box. So now that part is solved. We now have the y-intercept of this equation. Now let's go ahead and do the x-intercept. Draw the line. We know we're solving for. X-intercept, we know that the y has to be 0. So you want to keep putting these little small cues so that way you don't forget. It's very easy just to confuse something really quick with x and y intercepts. So now let's rewrite the equation again, but now let's go ahead and replace the y with 0. 10 times 0 equals 10. 5x equals 10. X equals 2. Go ahead and place that in the box of 2, 0. Now the third one's a checkpoint, and this is one where every year a lot of students want to fight me on this one because it's like, well, I know my x and y intercepts, why am I doing this? It's very easy to rearrange the two. You can plot 2 points anywhere on the graph and connect them, that'll be a straight line. It's not hard to do that. That doesn't mean you've actually graphed the equation correctly. So this third point will solidify if it's actually correct or not. So let's go here. Let's go, I'm going to put checkpoint. I'll do that one in black. So rather than here, let's go checkpoint. And for the checkpoint, remember now, it's a function. It's y equals, or well, you know, x dependent upon y in this case. So I'm going to plug in for x to get my y value. So you can pick any value of x that you want to for your checkpoint. I think, what do I want to do here? No, that's too big. 2? Oh, I can go 2. 2's fine. No, not 2. I'll go -2. Let's do that one. So we'll put x equals -2. So now we have 5 times -2 plus 10y equals 10. -10 plus 10y equals 10. Inverse of subtracting 10 is adding 10. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. 10y equals 20. So y equals 2. So for your checkpoint, you select any value of x. I try to look at the equation and see what I plug in for x. So when I divide by that coefficient of y, I still get a integer answer. I still get a positive or negative whole number like I did just now. Sometimes it won't work out that way, which is fine. We can still graph decimals. It doesn't really matter. Your checkpoint should be really quick to do. I'm going to put over here -2 and 2. All right, I'm going to play around with this. Hold on. Let me see if I can graph this, if it comes out okay. Let's do this. Why aren't you moving? Oh, there you go. All right. These numbers are. Well, actually, I'm gonna do this. I'm about to make this big. Yes. This is smarter. What points do I have up here? Can somebody give me what are the order pairs that I have? What do we find? So I have 0, 1. Just shout. What else? I can't. Say it again. 2, 0. What's the checkpoint? All right. So 0 and 1. I'm gonna say if I make this 0 here, I'm gonna skip a line. So that'll be 1 here. So this is 0 and 1. I'll put 0. No, I don't want to do that just yet. I don't know where that point's going to be. So if you can make like a small little fictitious coordinate plan on your notes. So that's 0 and 1. And then what's the other one? You said it was 2 and 0. So I'm going to skip a line. So I'm going to skip that one, 1. Skip that one, 2. So this is going to be 2 and 0. And then we have -2 and 2. I don't realize I had negative ones. Let me see here. 1, 2. And then, dang it. that ordered pairs in the way. And then I go over -2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ha, perfect. It came out pretty good. This right here was 0 and 1. This one right here is -2 and 2. Trying to make that as neat as I can. And then there we go. There's the straight line to the equation there. So those plots are pointed. Those points are plotted. Make sure you have ordered pairs next to them, which I have it the best way I can up here. I have graph paper that is back over there where the self-assessments are. So if you know you don't have enough on you, every one that has to be graphed on this document that you've been handed to you, you're going to graph on graph paper. And I have extras over there if you need it. This is what we're doing today. We're going to go ahead and take an equation. We're going to find the x and y intercepts and a checkpoint to be able to graph an equation correctly. That's our